welcome back to the vlog and welcome to Lomogai, Western Britain, Papua New Guinea. My name is Ryan and yeah, it was a really windy landing. I think I had like 7 or 8 knots, I think 7 knots on tailwind landing today, so it'll be an exciting takeoff too because it's really turbulent out there. About maybe 500 feet up, it's like 19 knots. So, alright, igniter's on. Fuel pump on, and low start.
TAWS system test, okay.
Reduce my low fuel. ITT's coming up a little bit quicker today just because the engine's already warm. But it's peaking out at 707, so still not that bad. So it's only going to be a 13-minute flight over to Kandrian today. And just dropping off like 2 boxes over there, and then back to Hoskins, and yeah, so I haven't taken you guys to these locations yet. Alright, fuel caps are good, our selectors are good, our controls are good. Turn Betty off for takeoff. Let's get our radar on standby, get the gimbals going. Our weight's 5250, so rotate's going to be 53, and come back in if we had to at 62. I hope I don't have to come back in here. I had to do a go around on my first attempt just because it was just too windy. I couldn't get my airspeed under control. Alright, switches and instruments are good. We're going to be just heading over there below 5,000, probably at like 3,000 or less, just because of the clouds today are right at that level. Get our trim and give a call. All stations Lomogai, 127.1 November Tango Zulu, taxiing Lomogai, Kandrian, below 5,000. Moresby 8861 November Tango Zulu, taxi.
November Tango Zulu, must be go ahead.
November Tango Zulu, landed Lomogai, time 40, now taxiing Kandrian, 1 POB.
November Tango Zulu, must be standby.
Alright, so this airstrip is 595 meters long. I've got probably 7 knots. It doesn't show anything right now, and I can see the windsock a little bit. But like I said, like, man, I don't know, probably 150 foot up, I'll start getting probably 13 knots of crosswind, and then probably 500 foot, I'll probably get around 19 knots. We've got mountains all over here, just short ones, but all the winds are super turbulent today over top of those. Alright, if we're not 50 knots by the second cone, full reverse, heavy braking, flaps up, cut off, pull off, and shut off after takeoff. Or if we're going off, I'm sorry. And we're going to go off to the right. Actually, we'll just go straight ahead, right into the bushes ahead. After takeoff, consider EPL immediately. If that doesn't work, feather it immediately. There's some roads down there, logging roads. We'll try to go for one of those. 85 initially, 80 full flaps. Emergencies, crack my door and masters off. And I'm not going to waste my time trying to get hold of anybody because I'm having a really hard time too today. Alright, ignition and lights are good. I've already done my taxi call earlier. So ignition condition, which is just the high idle. Alright, it's 30 degrees or 500 feet MSL. Oh, we'll go in between, so probably 1500 for 1550. Condition flaps 20, fuel on harnesses. 1550 rotate 53. Alright. Alright, airspeed's alive already. There's 50 continuing, there's 53. Get my speed up so that when I do get into the turbulent air, I have a little bit more hop on up. Alright, rather than going into the rising terrain, I'm going to make a right-hand turn out here, then climb up around. Even though, yeah, I've got 12 knots on my tail, now 13, so... and slowly rising. So I'm just going to keep it at 740 on the ITT for my climb out until I get up at a little bit of a safer altitude. Just passing 1,000-foot AGL now. Then once we get into the headwind, then we'll start reducing our flaps. Looks like the winds have calmed down a tiny bit. We've got 15 knots now instead of 19 to 20 when I first came in here. Alright, now that we're going into the wind, we're reducing our flaps over 85 knots. Go 0 degrees of flaps and bring our prop back to 2,000 RPM. So yeah, it's only a 27-mile flight from Lomogai over to Kandrian. You can see all the way there, there's a little bit of a rain patch in between, but just a super, super isolated one. And let's bring our torque all the way back to probably 1100 today, just because we're below 5,000, so I'm going to limit myself with just my fuel flow of 320. We do our flight planning on that, and if I keep it at 1250 like I normally would, my fuel flow would probably be like 30 pounds an hour more than it needs to be. Okay, so I'm just 2,000 foot MSL, which is 1,500 foot right here, and we'll just stay at that because the clouds are probably just another 100 foot above us. Alright, landing light off, engine inlet back to normal, and igniters are turned off. Throw our autopilot on for a second so I can give Moresby a quick call. Moresby 5565 November Tango Zulu departure. Let's try a different frequency. Moresby 6622 November Tango Zulu departure.
November Tango Zulu, Moresby, go ahead.
November Tango Zulu No Joy 8861. Departed Lomogai time 5-6. Tracking 141, not above 5,000. Estimating Kandrian 09er.
November Tango Zulu.
All stations Kandrian. Kodiak November Tango Zulu at 21 miles to the north-northwest 2000. Circuit Kandrian estimate 07. Alright, it looks like that's rain over here. I'm going to go through it really quick because I want to get some bugs off my windshield. It's either rain or smoke, but it looks like rain. Alright, so let's look at the strip chart real quick. The elevation is 300, so we're going to be at 1,300 for our pattern altitude. We're going to land that way on runway 17, and the length is 1,050 meters, so nothing special about this place at all. Really long. The only thing is it's really, really skinny usually. It looks more like just like a dirt road. And it's whipping today, so I'm guessing it's right on the edge of the ocean too, so. Alright, it's hard to tell. This does look like rain, but it still looks like smoke too, because it's not really looking like it's falling, so it must be just be misting out here or something. Oh yes, there we go. Looks like it's heavier over here. We'll head over this way so we can hopefully knock some of these bugs off. So a lot of these airstrips that are along the coast were used back in World War II. Gasmata, which is down that way, about a 20-minute flight or so, was an old Japanese runway. I have some flights into there if you want to check them out. Maybe I'll link it at the end of this video or put it up at the top. I'm not 100% sure about Kandrian. If you guys know, or if you guys are one of those gurus about World War II stuff, and you know something like that, leave a comment down below. I'd be interested in knowing if maybe Kandrian has any history to it or not. But I know that there was a lot of flying going on back then right around here. Alright, looks like most of my bugs are washed off. That's good. Go through the last rain shower. Gives me the time to wash it when I land. Alright, that chime you just heard just means I'm 200 feet within my altitude that I've set up on my altimeter setting. So I previously set up 1300 from my pattern altitude, so I'm just about at my pattern altitude now. We're just 11 miles out and just a 4-minute out. So let me look at the strip chart one more time. Autopilot real quick. It's going to be landing on runway 17. Oh, I'm going to hit my OBS, my Omni bearing selector. Google it if you don't know what it is. It's too hard to explain, like a good, easy definition. Turn this to runway... Actually, oh, I'm sorry, I won't be landing on runway 17. Landing on 17, and now that put a line right there on my screen so that I can see the orientation of the runway. This one you can see, but the last place, Lomogai, I couldn't even see it until I was 2 miles from the runway. Like it was that, no, it was even less than that. It was like 1 mile. It just sinks down into the jungle and you just can't see it at all. Alright, looks like cleared off 95% of the bugs off my windshield. Perfect. It also looks like the wind has dropped down quite a bit, which is really nice. It's only 9 knots now as opposed to 18 knots when I got to Lomogai a minute ago. All stations, Kandrian 127S11, November Tango Zulu 7 miles to the north-northwest, 1,500, circuit time Kandrian, time 07. Our selectors and brakes are good. Betty's still turned off. Our VREF today is going to be, we're at 5170, so approach will be 62 knots. We've already got that set in previously when we took off. Our lights in our inlet were below 140 knots, so we'll put our engine inlet into bypass. And that way, if I do suck up any birds or any grass or anything else, it will just spit it out some little holes out the bottom of the aircraft. Alright, if we do need to go around for this for any reason, it's power up, 20 degrees of flaps, pitch for 73, reset torque to 740 on the ITT. The maneuver is required. Orsby 6622, November Tango Zulu in the circuit Kandrian, cancel SAR. Orsby 6622, November Tango Zulu in the circuit Kandrian, cancel SAR.
November Tango Zulu, Kandrian, watch terminated.
November Tango Zulu. All stations, Kandrian 127.1, November Tango Zulu entering the circuit. Kandrian will be flying overhead for a left downwind runway 17, Kandrian. Alright, SAR is done. Push our prop forward. First degrees of flaps, under 138 knots. Prop and harness is complete. All we have is flaps to go. It's 1,300 feet for my pattern altitude. Got 10 knots of wind out of maybe 120, and we're landing at 170. So there'll be a little bit of a wind correction as I'm landing. So with this wing down just a tiny bit, and then opposite rudder just to keep the nose of the aircraft straight. Because it's so long, 1,000 meters, it's like 3,000 plus feet, I'll probably just take off with the 10 knot tailwind because I'm completely empty with minimum fuel anyways. So yeah, it looks like it's just a little tiny dirt road, as you'll see. You can take off going this way, but I think it's like a 3% uphill slope. So it just seems to you take off and then it doesn't really feel like you're taking off because you're still going uphill a little bit. So I've done it a few times when there was like a 15 knot wind. Alright, drop it down to 1,300 feet, still got another 150 feet to go. Alright, 20 degrees of flaps, below 120 knots. Going 62 at the slowest. I'm probably not going to come in quite that slow just because there's a lot of times wind shear here, so I'll probably come in more closer to 70. It's really not necessary to come in that slow. We'll go 70, 80, and 90. 90 on downwind, 80 on base, 70 on final. Laps to go. We will turn our base at 1,000 foot, or actually we're going to 1,100 because I'm getting a little far out with that tailwind. Alright, slowing to 80 knots now. We'll turn final around 800 feet. Alright, full flaps, checklist is complete. Turning final. Going to 70.
500.
At 14 knots now, a little bit of crosswind. 8 knots of crosswind. And we'll land 3 or 4 cones in, so that we're well above all the trees at the end in case we do have any wind shear. It'll help a little bit not getting that wind shear. Maybe. And a sinker. They will land. There we go. Right, not going to go into reverse at all here just because they have a lot of loose stones on the runway that will pick up and just chip up your prop really bad. So I'm going to try to stay out of beta and everything else as much as I can. Anyways, this is Kandrian. Yeah, if you know anything about this history-wise or whatever, leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this short little flight, give this video a thumbs up. It definitely helps my channel grow. No, I'm not even going to shut down because I'm just giving this guy 2 boxes and then I am on my way back to Hoskins. So I'm not even going to do a shutdown. I'm just going to go ahead and feather it. Got a little bit of battery life left in my camera, so I'll show you the quick takeoff out of here and then we'll end the vlog. I don't have enough battery power to get all the way back to Hoskins. It's another 30-minute flight back. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and taxi up to the top just because I do have probably a 10 to 12 knot tailwind right after takeoff. I probably won't feel much on my rollout, but right as I get above the tree line I will, so I'll just taxi to the top. A nice rolling start. It's nice that there's some grass has got up here now, so won't pick up as many rocks. Right, if I'm not 50 knots by the first taxiway we just pulled out of, I'm going to full reverse and abort. I'll pull off and shut off if we're going off, but if we do have to abort, we'll just continue straight ahead. After takeoff, we're going to pitch for 85, probably do a left-hand turn just to lower terrain. We have the coastline just right out here. 80 full flaps, got to pull off and shut off. If the EPL doesn't work, we're going to feather it. My emergency button, crack my door, and brace. Alright, ignition lights are already on. Moresby 6622 November Tango Zulu. Taxi Kandrian, Hoskins, 1 POB. Alright, we will try to get them in the air. Alright, ignition condition, flaps 20, fuel and harnesses are 300 feet. It is 29 degrees, so we'll do 1540 for 1590. Ignition condition, flaps, fuel and harnesses. Rotate at 53. Just do a rolling start. Alright, torque is just about set. There we go, airspeed is alive. There's 45 and 50 continue. Let me get my speed up before airborne. To about 80 or 85, and then we'll pop up over these tree lines so we can stay out of the wind shear as much as we can. So I'm going back to Hoskins. It's a 28-minute flight back that way. There's quite a bit of clouds there. I know it's 100% clear out this way, so we're just going to head out this direction. And we just punch through these clouds up here, just so we can get to a nice altitude with some nice cool weather. Because, yeah, 30 degrees, I'm not sure what that is in Fahrenheit, but I think it's over 90 degrees, maybe, high 80s, something like that. All right, over 85, 10 degrees. Over 90, and let's bring our prop back again, 2,000. All right, there's absolutely nothing in front of me that is an issue. So, I'm gonna go ahead and punch through these clouds up here on this heading here. With our ITT brought down to 720. Put our heading mode on for our autopilot just as we go IMC here in a second. Then I'll just trim it out for my airspeed, my best airspeed. So my EY airspeed is going to be 99 knots, and then every 2,000 feet you go up, it goes down 1 knot. Or just our cruise climb is around 115 knots. I think these clouds all stop maybe around 5,000 feet, so we should be able to get through them in another 30 seconds. So we can actually wiggle through over there. I see some blue holes, but they're not really convective yet. So let's see if we can get a hold of Moresby. Moresby 6622 November Tango Zulu departure.
Tango Zulu Moresby, stand by.
Alright, looks like I can wiggle my way through here.
Tango Zulu, go ahead.
November Tango Zulu departed Kandrian for Hoskins, 1 POB. Departed time 18, tracking 048, on climb not above 8,000, estimating Hoskins time 48.
Tango Zulu, copy above 8,000.
All stations. Kandrian in the Hoskins area, November Tango Zulu departed Kandrian for Hoskins, tracking 048, on climb 8,000. Estimating Hoskins 48. Alright guys, like I said, I don't think that my battery is going to last me all the way back to Hoskins. So I'll go ahead and end the vlog here. Thanks again for joining me along on these little jumps around. Yeah, after this one, I'm heading up to Hoskins, all the way up to Cave Yang, another hour I think up over the ocean, and then all the way back to Garok, which is like a 2-hour, 40-minute flight. But with the winds today, I might be able to cut off like 20 minutes of that, so that'd be nice. Anyways, thank you so much for taking the time. Consider subscribing if you guys like this content. Leave a comment down below on how you think I can make it better or make it more interesting or whatever else. So, awesome guys. Have a good one. Thanks again.